In my last video, we prepared the Fuji Hunt kit and made a batch of developer. In this video, we will use that developer to develop a roll of Kodak Vision3 500T. What's special about this film is it has a Remjet layer on it, which needs to be removed before we actually can develop it. To actually remove this, we're going to use this Remjet Remover, which I made using washing soda, which is sodium carbonate and can be found in most drugstores. Here in Germany, I buy it in DM. This is then dissolved in distilled water at a concentration of 100 grams per litre. So the first thing we'll need to do is load the film onto the reel. This has to be done in complete darkness, and which means normally you can't film it, but actually I have a thermal imaging camera and I can show you the process as we do it. I will then film each of the steps of development as I do it. The equipment I'm using is custom built, but the process is the same whether you're using a rotary processor or doing it by hand. Okay, let's get started. So in this first step, I prepare the water. This is also kept warm by the bath, which I think helps in the washing stages. Now, up until this point, everything's been preheating. I'm just checking the temperature, and once it's at the right level, we'll start development. Now we're pouring in the Remjet Remover and running it for 30 seconds with slight agitation. Then straight back out into the original bottle. This can be reused several times, and then straight in with the water, and this is when the majority of the Remjet actually comes off. Now comes lots of washing, so 3 or 4 wash stages, getting more and more aggressive with the agitation on each stage. The more you get out now, the less there is to wipe off later, and doing this already removes 90% of, well, probably 99% of the Remjet. So first proper step of development is the pre-wash. It's 5 minutes of distilled water, and it just gets the tank up to temperature, ready for the developer. Preset the timer before we start, and in goes the developer. You want to be quite quick on this and get it agitating as quick as possible. Before the timer's completely run out, we're already preparing to get our bleach out, and yeah, as you can see with the timer about 20 seconds left, I will take it off and start pouring at about 10 seconds remaining. This makes sure we keep in precise time, so the bleach is going in exactly at the 3-minute 15 mark. So one thing to note about the bleach stage, it actually generates quite a lot of gas, and it's worth burping the tank just to make sure that the lid doesn't pop off. This tank does have a cap which is supposed to relieve pressure, but I have had it in the past where if you don't relieve it manually, then it can actually pop off and creates a big mess. now we're into the first washing stage. So clean water. I always do the first wash quickly by hand, gets rid of the majority of the chemical, and then a few slower, longer washes. On here I just use the rotation to save me having to do it all by hand. Roughly 1 minute for each wash. And in this stage it's normally 3 washes. Okay, next step is fixer. 6 minutes 30 and straight in with that. Something to note at this point, the temperature is not critical anymore, and I tend to run everything at the same temperature, but at this point you can stop heating if you need to. Now we're into the second washing stage. This is the most critical wash. You want to remove as much as possible of the development chemicals. Again, starting with a quick hand wash and then running 1 or 2 minute cycles, and this time I'll do 4 washes. Whilst the final wash is running, I'm just preparing the stabilizer, pour it into an open bottle. Now you don't want to contaminate your tank with much of the stabilizer, as it will cause bubbles in your developer and it's quite hard to get rid of. I do, however, leave it on the reel, as I find it's quite difficult to deal with once it's not on the reel and it tends to stick together. I just give the reels an extra good wash afterwards, and that gets rid of most of the stabilizer. 1 minute 20 in the stabilizer, slight agitation, it may not be necessary. Now we just pour off the stabilizer and we've finished our development. Now I'm actually I've got a microfiber cloth, one that's very clean and has no lint on it, and I'm going to just wet it with some of the stabilizer. This is what we'll use to wipe down the film and remove any of the remaining Remjet. So for drying, I always use the bathroom because it's the place with the least amount of dust. I always take off the towels and remove any soft furnishings from the room when I do this, and then I just hang it up from the shower rail. I put a clip on the end for weight, and then literally 1, maybe 2 wipes down each side. Now the glossy side is the side that has the Remjet on, so that's the most important side, but I think some particles can get on the back side as well through being suspended in liquid. And at this stage you will probably see that your cloth goes a bit black from what remaining Remjet is on there, but it's usually very little. And after this, there is no Remjet left. And here we go. I will scan these in and show you some of the results. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.